Zechariah chapter 4. Zechariah chapter 4 is in the Old Testament. The Old Testament is ordered the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible. Then we have history books. Then we have poetry books. Job and Psalms and Song of Solomon. Then we have major prophets. We have those people, they weren't major because they were more anointed. They were major because they talked a lot. Then we have minor prophets. Zechariah fits in the minor prophet category. So if you at Daniel, you ain't far enough. If you at Matthew, you've gone too far. Amen. 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 Zechariah chapter 4. I debated on how much of the text I was going to read. But I think I'm going to let y'all off the hook. The more I read, the less I have to preach. So I'm going to let y'all off the hook today. Verse 9. Verse 8. Verse 8. You found this same word. Word. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, the hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house. His hands shall also finish it. I almost slipped into a praise early in the message, bro, because God didn't just let Zerubbabel start. He said he was going to also let him finish. And somebody ought to tell God, thank you, that just because you start something don't mean you're going to finish it. But there is a word of prophecy in the book of Zechariah that says that what you started, God's going to give you the strength to finish. And y'all excuse me, but I got to tell God thank you for 2 seconds. And because if I be honest with you, I started some stuff that's so much bigger than me here recently. I have so much vision that's so much bigger than what I am that I thought, Lord, that I was going to start it and God was going to finish it with somebody else. But he made me a promise that he was going to let me finish it. Oh, I got to get to my message. I haven't even my message yet. And his hand shall also finish it. And thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts has sent me unto you. I got to read my text, but y'all stop thinking and I stop preaching like this. Can I tell you that the reason, watch this, Kiara, the reason you're going to finish it is so that your haters know that the hand of God is on you. All right. It's some people who are excited about your start but going to hate your finish. And the reason why God going to let you finish it is because he has to prove to some people that his hand was on your life the whole time. Every person who talked about you, watch this, Joy, there going to be some people that when you come out of your storm are going to be I see you on their deathbed, but they only gonna be alive long enough to see you walk out, but they said you never walk in. Oh, I wish I had a church in here who understood. Watch this. The people who wanted to see your demise, who planned and plotted for you to fail, are the same people who looking at your beginning looking like it's small, looking like you're insignificant, looking like you'll never be successful. The same people who are looking at how small your beginnings are going to be the same people that say, I don't know how they finished, but it must have been God. Yes. Here it is. Verse 10. It says, for who has despised the day of small things? For they shall rejoice and shall see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel with those 7. They are the eyes of the Lord, which run to and fro through the whole earth. I want to talk from this subject, the power of small things. All right. The power of small things. I'm back to my vein now. I started a series entitled summer sermon series entitled Superheroes. Because we are supernatural beings living in a natural world. If you push on me too much, you'll find out I got more power than I look like. Yeah. So today I'd like to highlight your homeboy, AntMan. The last movie, bro, was dope. AntMan versus AntMan and Wasp Woman. I thought that movie was crazy dope. It was amazing. Wasn't it good? Amen. AntMan is a guy who could shrink himself down really small or make himself extremely large. And the plot of the story is there's this woman who's lost in infinity, right? She's lost in the great beyond. And AntMan, and they're trying to rescue her from where she's lost at. And as they journey to rescue her, as they're trying so badly to get her and to redeem her, watch this, Sister Sandra, they can't get her until they get small enough to get to where she's at. I'm concerned that today, in 2019, so many people, Lord, celebrate the big stuff that they're missing when God gives you small stuff. It's a miracle too. There's a blessing in being small. Watch this. I was in a conversation yesterday, and I don't mean small. Y'all excuse me. I'm a big boy, so I'm not talking about skinny. You understand? I'm talking about not having enough. I'm talking about starting small. I'm talking about, watch this. Watch this. I was in a conversation yesterday, and I was reminded of one of the principles I like. Bishop Jakes taught me one time in a sermon series. He said, so many people celebrate, so many people who are single want to be married. And so many people who are married want to be single. He talked about how we need to learn how to celebrate where we already are. How to live in the now. How to live in the moment. Because if you celebrate where you are, God can give you something else. But so often we're so busy seeking something else that we're not learning the lessons of where we are. Don't think because it's small, it's bad. Let me say it like this. Maybe this will help you. I told you I got an aunt. She's silly too. You hear me? I have a crazy aunt. Everybody got one. Oh, y'all gonna look at me like that? Everybody in the room got a crazy auntie. Amen. And if she, or you said what? Or might be one. I wouldn't even do that. See, out here throwing shots. But my crazy auntie, she has this green thumb I told y'all about. That is something spectacular. She can take a piece of a vine and a cup of water, and you come back in a year, and it's an entire plant. How in the world did you make such beauty from something so small? I need you to understand that perhaps we as Christians need to reevaluate our value system so that we stop looking for something so large and start learning how to use or work with the small thing. Amen. Because the small thing will work if you work it. Yes. Well, let me give you some background to the text. I ain't even ready to preach that long today. I promise. I'm ready for the beach. Glory to God. Zerubbabel in this text, Zechariah is talking or prophesying to Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel he was born in captivity. He was born in Babylon exile. He was born in captivity. That's important. It's significant. Because what you see as a little, Zerubbabel sees as a lot because he never had nothing. That's right. See, watch this. I need some of us to stop looking down on other people's little because you don't know where they came from to get the little that they got. That's right. That's right. Everybody's judging Zerubbabel. Watch this. Zerubbabel is not just was not just born in captivity, but he's the first leader to lead groups of people out of captivity. Mm-hmm. That is significant because you know when you're coming out of captivity, it looks small. Mm-hmm. But if you work with your freedom, it can become large. Yeah. Let me put some context on it for you. 400 years ago, black folk was in slavery and in chains. Mm-hmm. We got a little bit of freedom in a document known as the Emancipation Proclamation. And we began to sharecrop. Watch this. But if you work with the sharecropper long enough, you get to the civil rights movement. Watch what I'm doing. I'm working with a little bit of freedom, but I'm working with what I got. If you work with that little bit of freedom, then you'll have a President Barack Obama who's the leader of the country that his people were slaves in. Yes. Watch this. But the only way you get to Obama from slavery is if you work with the little bit you got in order to get there. I'm just trying to tell somebody in here that God has given you enough to make it happen, but you got to work with the small stuff. Amen. You got to, I got one more, and I'm going to really preach this text. Lord, I can think you can appreciate this. About 5 miles away from here is a place called the Hope Center. I hope you go tour the Hope Center. I really want you to actually, you ladies, I want y'all to go buy y'all some pumps from over there. And here's why. Here's why. Watch this, Joy. The Hope Center is a drug trafficking center. It's a center for women who have been prostituted and sexually abused by their family. It is a place where women spend 15 months of their life to be reprogrammed so that their lives are changed and transitioned. It's a place that houses hundreds of people. But I got to talk to the man who founded the Hope Center. And watch this. And when I talked to him, my faith got so inspired because he started with nothing and walked away from everything. He was a pastor. You can appreciate this. For 33 years, he built one of the largest churches in Hancock County. He was a church planter. So that means he had 4 congregations that had over 1,000 members in them. He had achieved what for a pastor would be considered success. And 33 years in, he took and filed and signed a letter of resignation and walked away from what he had established to step out on faith and had no more financial income. But he had a promise. You know, isn't it funny how this Christianity thing is funny to me? Because God always starts with a little.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
You can never find you want to find the hand of God? Look in the small spot.
That's right.
If it's, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to move on. The dude, he ends up telling me that their budget per month is about $75,000. And that from month to month, he doesn't know how they're going to make it. But at the end of the month, he looks at the budget and says, okay, God, what you going to do? And he has this saying, wait till Monday. And by Monday, he always finds a check.
Come on.
He said a dude just walked up to him. He was in Starbucks when he started it. He was in Starbucks planning the vision. And a guy came and sat down next to him, asked him what he was doing, and ended up writing him a check for $100,000.
Jesus.
Watch this. All I'm trying to tell you is if you work with the small stuff you got, God will send you the rest.
Amen.
Stop looking at it like it's small.
That's right.
Work with what you got.
That's right.
Okay, let me give y'all some principle. Because I want you to come out of captivity. I want you to come out of the circumstances you're in, but I need to let you know that when you come out of them, you're not going to start on top. You're going to start small.
Yeah. Right.
I'm about to get in trouble with this. But Mama, can I tell you something? It's a whole lot of large congregations who are infected. You know some churches, they started big. They started big because they started infected. That ain't no shot at nobody. But Sister Elliott, I've had some infections in my life, and when I've had infection, the way I knew it was infected is because it swelled up and got hot.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right. You know some churches that swole and they hot. But if you prick the surface, you'll find out underneath it ain't just what you thought it was.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's just in case you thought new beginnings was small. Despise not small beginnings.
That's
All right.
right.
All right, let me give you 3 principles real quick. I'm going to give you my 3 S's. Because there's power in the small.
Small.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out which one to give y'all first. Okay, the first one I'm going to give you, I'm going to write it, do it just the way I got it. It's small because it's sustainable. It's sustainable. Joy, God gives you small stuff so he can teach you how to sustain it before he gives you something bigger. He gives you small stuff so that he can, watch this. I'm in the text. But let me go here before I go to the text. When I was a little boy, kids don't ride bikes no more. That concerns me. But when I was a little boy, we rode bikes until we got bus passes. And we had bus passes until we had cars. And if you mess with me right now and take my car, I can go back to the bus pass, and I still know how to ride a bike. You better come on, ask somebody about it. But you learn how to ride a bike with training wheels.
Yeah.
before you learned how to ride a bike without. And some of us need to know that God is giving us small beginnings because it has training wheels on it. When it's small, if you mess up a little bit, it doesn't look so bad. You don't hurt yourself so much. Some of us need to learn the principles that are in the small thing, how to handle the small thing, so that God can start to bless you with more.
Yes.
Zerubbabel said, the Bible says he laid the foundation. And everybody looked at the foundation and despised the foundation. They looked at what he had already done and started, that ain't going to be nothing. That ain't much. And I know some people in here right now who people are looking at your budget and they like, that ain't nothing. That's all the money you got? You ain't going to make it nowhere. But I need some of us to know that if we learn the principles in our budgeting of small, God will give us the power to have larger.
Yes.
God doesn't dump mess on mess. I'm going to say it again because I need us to really hear this. God does not dump. He will not give you this big blessing to put on this messy stuff. God is a God of order and organization. I want you to stop and think about this. Your body right now is a group of organisms that are all functioning with different paths simultaneously in a divine order. God is the God of order. Everything in the world has an order. Summer, spring, and fall. Order. Seed, ground, water, light. Order. Why is it that we as Christians overlook God's order to try to be blessed? God will give you more based on how you handle the little Matthew 25. He who is faithful over a few things, God will make him ruler over much. I want to ask you now, it's getting ready to get real intense. What's your car look like? Is it clean on the inside? Can I ask you, why are you praying for a new car and you can't even take care of the one you got? You want to buy a house. I know you want to buy a house. Y'all, I ain't bowing down y'all alley. I'm hurting myself. Don't worry about it. Hey, sometimes you preach a word and it cuts you, but you want to buy a house, but I want to ask you what the inside of your house look like. How clean is it? How many improvements have you made? What steps are you taking to improve your credit score? How far are you out in the water before you start asking God to bless you? Because watch this. The Bible says, we missed this one. It says, draw near to God. He'll draw near to you. Yes, we try to make that so spiritual, but it's not all spiritual. A lot of that is natural. If you draw close to the promise of God, his response will be the reward of the promise. But the woman with the issue of blood did not get her healing until she pressed through the crowd. Come on. Right. Naaman did not get healed from leprosy until he decided he was going to dip until God blessed him.
That's right.
I need you to know that it's small. It looks insignificant to everybody else. But if you work with that one idea, if you work with that one thought, if you work with them few dollars, if you work with a little bit of a fragment of a relationship you got, if you work with what you got, God will make something happen for you that'll blow your mind.
Yes, yes.
Mark the calendar for me. What's today? August the 4th, 2019. Mark the calendar. If you work it, it's prophetic in nature, but I really wish you would receive it. If you work it for 365 days, I promise you it'll look different this time next year.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. If you work it, but you gotta work it. You have to be diligent enough to work what you got. I know some of us have enough money, but some of us are sick. If you make the effort to work out and eat better, watch what God does in your body. Amen. If you make the effort. Watch this. People need to stop telling me what they believe God for and start showing me. Woo. Come on. I'm so tired of people. I'm so tired of this generation of, I believe God, and God's going to do it. And, oh, I thank him for it. Hallelujah. But you have no feet that suggest that you actually want what God said. God has $1 million with your name on it, but will you go get it? Watch this. Joy, I'm about to move to my next point because I said I wasn't going to do this that long. But there is a song that people sing that is so incorrect. What God has for me, it is for me. You do know you can die and have not received all of the promise of God.
Yeah.
It's for you. God wants to give it to you. But he will not give you all of it if you don't line up.
Come on. Yeah.
Because where his word is where his provision is. If you don't have a word, you don't have provision. If you don't have a promise or a principle that you're working, God is not obligated to bless you. And some of us need to stop tripping because God overlooked our sin one time to bless us. We think he's going to do it again. That ain't how this works. God meets you where he finds faith. God is attracted. He's a magnet to faith. And where he finds faith is where he decides to move. And if he doesn't find faith, you can expect no move. And so many of us have this name it, blab it, and grab it mentality. And God is like, I ain't giving you nothing until I find faith.
That's right. Amen.
And watch this. I got it. It's small, but I'm working with it because there's power in the small. Watch this, Brandon. Faith without works is dead. And I need us to know that God doesn't respond to dead faith.
That's right.
So what you believe God for, make sure you can show God proof that you're believing for it beyond your words. See, watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Zerubbabel is going to get to finish the temple because Zerubbabel led the people into the unknown. He led them from captivity to freedom. And when he got to freedom, freedom wasn't enough for him. He decided he would lay the foundation too. I need some of us to stop stop being satisfied with just short of enough.
Yeah. Right.
I'm too hungry. Y'all excuse me, I got the big boy reference here. My appetite will change my mood. I know y'all real saved and delivered, but let me tell you something. If we should ever engage in a conversation and I'm hungry, please do not charge my attitude to my character. It's because I'm hungry. Y'all in here looking at me funny like y'all ain't had no fat people moment. Like you ain't never had no attitude. Don't talk to me right now. I'm hungry. Yeah, it's hangry, but I'm beyond hangry. You keep playing with me, I'm going to bite your finger. I'm hungry. I got an attitude. When are we going to let our natural hunger move into the spirit realm long enough that when we're so hungry spiritually that it changes our disposition and our drive? Okay, it's sustainable. I mean, yeah, it's sustainable. I need you to know it's substantial. It's substantial. It's substantial. Watch this. Don't answer out loud. But I like to inspire thought. That's really what I like to do. I really like to lead God's people by making them think. Who had more power? Jesus, the baby in the manger, or Jesus, the one who hung on the cross? Which had more power? The one who was being crucified, or the one who couldn't speak yet? That's a question, ain't it? Here's an argument for you. I believe that they both had the same amount of power. I believe. Notice I didn't say the resurrected Jesus. That's a whole other conversation. But Sister Sandra, I believe that Jesus had the same power the moment he was born that he had the moment he was crucified. The same power. There's a thought. There's the same, watch this, the same stalk of corn that grew had the same, it was the same stalk when it was in the seed too. It just grew and became. But it still had the same power and potency in seed that it did in fulfillment. Watch this. Here's why your small is substantial. Because your small has the same power that your large will have. It's the same.
All right.
It's just smaller.
All right.
And I need us to know that God, I want to revisit this just for 2 seconds. God blesses us with the small so we can learn how to work with it. Because if it were too big, Laura, we wouldn't be able to handle it. But God has graced you with something smaller than what he plans to give you so you can learn how to work with it. So you can learn the principles of it. Because watch this, the principles don't matter. The principles don't care if something is small or large. The principles exist. So if you develop the principles while it's small, then the more it grows, the more you can handle it. That's why, among other reasons, that's why women don't push out children that are 40 pounds and can talk. Watch this. Because you learn to carry the baby in your womb. You start learning to carry. And then when you had that baby came out like 7 pounds and 5 ounces, all cuddly and cute, and you held her. Watch this. A mother was learning to carry the baby here. It was something. Because after the baby grew and became 30 pounds, it's something. You still learn how to carry it. The baby might be 6'2" and 250 pounds, but you've learned, watch this, Crenshaw, as it has developed, how to carry the baby. You don't care. I ain't talking naturally no more. I ain't talking like this no more. I'm talking about you learn how to carry your baby. Watch this. That's why God gave you the baby small, so you could learn how to carry. I need some of us in here to know the reason why God is blessing you small is because he's trying to teach you how to carry. You might be a millionaire in the making, and all you making right now is $40,000 a year. Don't trip. Use the 40 and learn how to work with the 40, because if you can carry the 40, he can give you 100.
That's right.
And if you work with the 100 the same way you work with the 40, he can give you a meal ticket. But watch this. So many Christians don't understand how substantial the small is, so they mess up and never get the big. Watch this. Because you do know, if you eat the seed, it'll make you sick. So many Christians, I ain't just talking money here, so many Christians have ate the idea.
Right.
Have you ever ate an idea? I think this is brilliant. I can make it happen. You went and talked to the wrong negative Nancy, and before you knew it, your idea was trash, and you disregarded your idea, and then you was watching the TV one day, searching the internet one day, and found out somebody else was walking with your idea. Let me give you the third one. I see y'all tired. It's supernatural. My small thing that has so much power is supernatural. It's supernatural. It's supernatural because God's hand is on it. It's supernatural. It has supernatural quality because everything God makes has the ability to be supernatural. Everything he makes. I'm going to give you a quick random fact to make sense. Joy, did you know that cancer exists in every person's body? All the time? Did you know that your immune system is equipped to eradicate cancer in your body right now? Did you know that every day your body kills cancer cells that naturally occur in your body? What gives the diagnosis of cancer is an abundance of cancer cells that the immune system cannot defend against. Why are we talking about cancer right now? Because I need you to understand that your body is equipped with the supernatural ability right now to cure cancer. Everything God made, he put in it the ability to be supernatural. Oh, that didn't help y'all. Let me talk Bible with you for just 2 seconds. Watch this, Crenshaw. Jesus was a man like you a man, and I'm a man, and you a man, and y'all men, right? The last time I tried to step on water, I sunk. Watch this. Jesus watch this. The water had the ability to be supernaturally strong to hold Jesus up. Everything God made, he put in it the ability to be supernatural. So while you looking at not having enough, God is looking at his supernatural ability to turn not enough into more than enough. Oh, you remember there were 5,000 who came to eat. There were 5,000 who came to learn of Jesus in the desert. And Jesus fed 5,000 with 2 fish and 5 barley loaves. You remember that? It was supernatural, but it's small. What would have happened if they hadn't took the boys' lunch? Everybody would have been hungry. 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread made a major meal when God's supernatural hand touches it. The man last week preached that Jesus fed 4,000. Supernatural. I want you to do, I'm about to give you, we don't got Bible class this week. So I'm going to give you some homework. We really there. I want to ask you, what is so small you are devaluing it in your life right now? Is there anything in your life right now that is so small you devalue? God can't, because it's just a little bit. It's just a little bit. Look, we've been in church a while together. Check this out. There was a widow woman. I'm about to close. There was a widow woman. She had a little bit of meal. Crucial oil. Joy, she was about to die of starvation. All she had was enough to make one last meal. And the man of God walked up to her and said, just make me a meal first. Brandon, that's a little bit. And the mother in her, what's going on, Miss Amy? The mother in her, I am sure, said, I got to feed my baby. And you asking for a little bit of my little bit. You crazy. But nevertheless, when you got a little bit, watch this, when you got a little bit, it requires a lot of faith. Yeah. But a lot of faith is easy when you got a little bit, because that's all I got. If I feel given to you, I was going to fail anyway. I might as well. She gave to the man of God. You know the story. The woman went into business. Because the Bible says she started borrowing vessels to get crews of oil, to get the oil. Because the miracle was so big, and she filled every vessel in the city up. It was small, but she worked with it. If you read the rest of Zechariah 4, if you read those last verses, watch this. And see, God was revealing to Zechariah, he had a conversation with God. He said, hey, God, what are those 2 things, those 2 trees? I see 2 olive trees. As you're telling me about Zerubbabel and how he's going to build this temple, I see 2 things. I see 2 trees. What do those trees mean? God is explaining to him that those trees represent the anointing. Closing myself, watch this. I know that it's supernatural because everywhere I go, I find grace and mercy. Oh, you got to excuse me. I'm about to close. We done. I'm closing myself. Watch this. But see, I know there's a generation of people who are celebrating grace, but I got to tell God for a second, thank you for mercy. Because see, it was mercy that did not give me what I deserved, and grace that walked me into more than I had. Oh, I'm going to say it again. It was grace that gave me what I did not deserve. Mercy that gave me what I did not deserve, and grace that walked me into more than I had. You see, I need both and. I need somebody in here to know that your little is going to become a lot if you keep grace and mercy in proper perspective. Because when you're working with a little bit, sometimes you mess up and you need mercy. But then when you're working with a little bit and you got a whole big vision, God will give you some grace to do more than you thought you could ever do. He'll send you somebody to walk and sow into you like crazy. He'll send somebody that has great ideas that match your ideas to expand your concept. You need to know it's 2 of them. Watch this. There's love and forgiveness. Oh, I need somebody in here to understand that I got 2 in my small thing. I got 2 in my small thing. Love and forgiveness is significant right here because, see, forgiveness helps me know I'm loved.
Yes.
Watch this. Can I tell you something? As a principal, I'm about to close. I promise I'm done. But can I tell you that you can't accept love until you have learned how to give forgiveness?
Ooh.
I need somebody in here to know that it's hard for me. Watch this. One of the greatest challenges in my own life, and I'm going to be very personal, one of the hardest challenges in my own life was not for me to forgive other people, but it was for me to forgive myself.
Amen. Amen.
Because I know a lot of us, we put it out here, but there's a group of people in the room that put it in here. How could I let my decisions get me here? But I need you to know today that there are two in your small thing with you right now. And it's so important that in a small thing you learn that there's both forgiveness and love. Yeah. I almost, Sister Sandra, I'm really quitting. I almost had Frankie Beverly and May's moment. And I almost told you that there's joy and pain in your small thing. But you need both of them. You need both of them. When you birthing something, it hurts. But it hurts with a joy knowing you're birthing something. I need some of us to know it hurts because God is birthing something. But fret not yourself for the pain, and don't forget that there is a promise. I gotta go. I said I wasn't gonna do this. But Amos Price, Sister Christine, can I tell y'all something? Please never let the pain overshadow the promise. Laura, don't let the hurt you feel make you forget that there is a promise over your life. Joy, don't let having a painful moment destroy your faith to believe that God is going to do what he said he was going to do. Because the truth is, on your way to God doing what he said he was going to do, it's going to look bad. 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 I ain't going to lie to you. I'm not going to front or stunt. I'm not going to play no games with your face today. I'm not going to act like this Christian journey is peaches and cream and bed of roses and it's beautiful all the time. The promise God has comes through pain. But if you hold on in the pain, joy will come. So the Bible says that for the joy that was set before Jesus, he endured the cross. He took the pain because of the joy that was coming. Relabel this week. That's my assignment for you. Relabel. Reassess. Reassign value. This week, you will not say, I'm poor. This week, you'll say, I'm becoming prosperous. Reassign value. I'm going to fix something in my vocabulary. It's really hard to fix. Have you ever learned something and it's hard to unlearn it? I'm going to stop saying I'm broke when I ain't got no money. Because if I be honest with you, my person isn't broken because I don't have any money. Some of us have broken relationships because we spoke we were broke. We got broken families because we said we was broke. You know, that's how money has so much power in so many lives. When we don't got nothing, we broke. But you're not really broken. You just speaking it over your life.
That's right.
All right, let's go home. Jesus is God's son. It's very true. It's not a